This is the process shot. I'm Michael, I'm back, and you would not believe how long it took me to find enough stuff that could prop up the broken tripod leg. You'd think this place might have a spare roll of duct tape or something hiding around, but nope. Just a lot of printer paper. Anyways, if the actual video looks a bit different, then you know why. As you might guess though, the movies never stop showing up around here, so I might as well get back into the grind of things. Reviewing things, I mean. Hustle is a new sports dramedy from director Jeremiah Zagar that follows Sammy, an NBA scout for the Philadelphia 76ers, who is down on his luck both in his position on the team and in his actual scouting. His work takes him to Spain, where chance further leads him to discover Bo, a young man whose skills on the street courts immediately fascinate Sammy. He convinces Bo to come to America and show his skills, but not only does the team owner have strong doubts, Bo is found to have a checkered past and a criminal history. Despite this, Sammy makes it his goal to prove to everybody that Bo has what they need. This is, overall, a relatively harmless, mostly formulaic, rags-to-riches sports drama at the end of the day. It almost feels too simple at times, with how much money must have gone into production. There are a lot of professional NBA team name drops and player cameos, the latter of which might go unnoticed if you aren't as big a fan of the sport as the movie wants you to be. Underneath all of that glitz is a story and a plot that otherwise feels pretty basic, almost as if this production is a case where a pre-written script was tweaked around to insert recognizable names and brands. The higher production value almost makes it a detriment, in that the story was probably meant for a smaller scale or setting than the actual big leagues of the NBA. On the brighter side, the main characters of the film do end up being more down-to-earth at least. Sammy and Bo's relationship is definitely the highlight, with a clearly illustrated growth in their mutual trust over time. Sometimes other character development does feel a bit rushed or even overlooked, but I figure that's more to do with the script wanting to cover as much ground as it can. It really does end up being in the characters that the movie's heart can be found, at least if you aren't watching it for the sports cameos. It makes up for the story's weaknesses in some way, giving you something to latch onto at least, though it's still not quite enough to make it all feel like a fresh take on a classic structure. The actual cinematic construction is a bit mixed. There are several points where the film feels more dynamic when a scene or its tone would call for something calmer. More specifically, there's some handheld cinematography or fast wipes between or even within shots that keep everything in motion even when nothing's moving, paired with some quick back and forth editing meant to keep you on your toes. It works in scenes that are actually fast or have a higher energy, but it just feels a bit unsettling everywhere else. It's not everywhere in the film, thankfully, and most times it does know how to pace itself. There are even a few impressive training montages that are cut together beautifully, with a nearly seamless flow and action between shots. The film's soundtrack is also a bit mixed, though more literally, in the sense of there being a constant shift between bass-heavy hip-hop tracks and calmer piano-driven instrumental score. The music is usually used more appropriately with the tone of scenes at least. As for other technical elements, things are kept pretty practical and unremarkable. There's less in here to elevate the movie as a movie, and more towards letting the story play out and to let the cast do their own thing. Overall, what you get is pretty much a standard sports drama that won't confuse people and doesn't offer too much else, but does want to be more than an excuse for NBA players and coaches to rack up film credits. Hustle, Jeremiah Zagar, 2022. 3 stars. I'd say that it's worth watching if you're into basketball, sports dramas, or both. That's it for the review. If you liked it, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a comment. Subscribe to the channel for more reviews. Man, it's been a while since I've said that. Speaking of talking, this movie probably could have been PG if it weren't for all the swearing. I mean, damn, they go in hard a few times on the language here.